Hello and welcome to another Your Money Matters podcast, where you decide to change your financial life and I help you with the 10,000 little decisions it takes to meet your goal. I am Bruce Breedlove, the host of the Your Money Matters podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Man, it has been a while, guys. I took the last year or so off when I was just starting Your Money Matters. I was really heavy into posting on social media, making content. And unfortunately, it kind of took over my life a little bit. So I felt like I needed to step back, still work my own journey, and really dive deep into what did I want to make this. So going forward, I still will be creating content. I still will be sharing my journey with you. But what I want to do is keep a better balance in my life, because I think if this project becomes too much, I'm not going to be able to be as effective, not only in my own life, for you guys to help you with your journey. So welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Man, I am excited to get this podcast recorded. And as far as financially goes, what a year it has been. The stock market through 2017 was going crazy. The companies were posting record earnings, kind of on the back of the promise of a new tax bill. 2018 rolls around, and due to the new legislation, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, companies could expect to make more money than they had in the past because they were paying lower taxes. Now, Wall Street really liked that because it created this artificial earnings bump. So then companies were coming back and saying, hey, we made more than we thought we would. And then, of course, the stock price went up. So everybody was enjoying that. So later on in the year, around fall time in October, the stock market took a big dip. It was about 10 to 13% of the S&P 500. What's really interesting about that is, companies' fundamentals didn't change. Like nothing major happened in the world. Shortly after that, we got involved in a government shutdown. We got some bad press and some bad news out of China due to the trade deal between President Xi of China and President Trump. There's been a lot of media attention with this, and unfortunately, it gets spun negatively most of the time. And there is a lot of negative to it. And people out there say, well, no one wins a trade war. Well, the short explanation is, historically, we trade with China because they have things that we don't have and we have things that they don't have. Unfortunately, though, we were trading at a deficit. So the United States, compared to China, was losing money on these deals according to the data. So, what President Trump has done is decided to tariff their goods that they purchase from us. So what that basically is an additional tax on anything that they buy, which will try to avert them from buying stuff from us. But basically it was a move to try to get China to renegotiate a trade deal and to attempt to make it more fair for both sides. So avoiding politics, the stock market reacted to this poorly because these same companies that had been posting record earnings throughout the entire year came back and said, well, because of this China business, we do a lot of business in China. Because of this China business, we're actually going to cut our earnings for next year. So companies like Apple came out and said, well, we're not going to be able to meet the numbers that we promised you, so we're actually going to lower them. So between this government shutdown and the tariffs, those were the two major things that contributed to the market decline. And what I want listeners to know is that, if you are investing and you have a long-term track record as far as going forward, you're nowhere near retirement, these opportunities for you to buy stocks when they're cheaper are invaluable. One of my favorite role models, Warren Buffett, he says famously, be greedy when others are worried and be worried when others are greedy. And what that means is basically when you see on the news that, everything's crashing, it's doom and gloom, that is when you should be a little bit excited to invest more and to buy more. And since we have such a long-term time until it's retirement age, we don't have to worry about these small dips. Now, people that are in their 50s or early 60s and preparing to retire, this is doomsday because you're just about to retire at the end of the year and the market tanks. I understand you always hear the negative with this, but keep an open mind And what I would suggest is to turn off the news, stick with your investment strategy, and keep moving forward. So I would say that's probably sufficient for a market update. Looking back, this is now February, I think 5th of 2019, and we've already seen a pretty handsome market recovery from that dip at the end of the year. So more news to come. Like I said, stay with your game plan. That's assuming you have a game plan to start with. If you don't have a game plan, perfect time to make one. So hey guys, going forward, I want to provide you with, I think, shorter sound bites, shorter episodes of podcasts so they're easier to listen to, easier to digest, and I will pick specific topics that I'd like to talk about. Something as simple as just defining things like what is a stock, what is a mutual fund, what is a budget, how to budget. This year that I kind of spent reflecting and looking back at what I had already done with Your Money Matters, and getting some feedback from friends and family, I want to not create a barrier between you and what the next step is. I think everybody is in a different spot in their life, and whether you are working a job, you're constantly tired, you're drained emotionally, and then you look at your bank account and it's zero at the end of the month, or you're doing pretty well and you have some extra cash and you have no idea what to do with it in order for it to make money and for you to secure your future. I want this information to be a road, a open door for you to take and to explore and learn just a little bit, because the decision to start your financial journey has to be yours, but I want to be the one to help you make all those little decisions and learn all those things to help you on your way and to meet your goal. Anyway, guys, I have to take a pause for a minute for an ad. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for hanging around for that ad. So I actually want to just close out. What I want to introduce is what I'm going to call the What Is series. So like I said, I want to give you smaller amounts of information, more like sound bites, in order to enable you to digest the information better. And what I thought it would be a perfect way to start, to just basically pick some financial terms and define them and kind of put them in the place in your life where they matter and where you can use them to your advantage. So we're going to be talking about investing. We're going to be talking about compound interest. We're going to be talking about how money works. What is a stock? What is a mutual fund? What is a 401k? And I'm going to break all these down and create one episode for each topic. I'll do a series of this. We'll see how it goes. And if you guys have any input as to what you'd like to hear me talk about, what you'd like to learn more about, please send me an email, yourmoneymatters365@gmail.com, or hit up the Facebook group. Just search Your Money Matters on Facebook, or send me a message on Instagram, Your Money Matters on Instagram. Hey, once again, I'm so glad to be back, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and welcome to a new season of Your Money Matters.